So today, friends, we're going to make this East Indian delight called fugues. They're so soft and so light, and they go best with some chicken curry or mutton curry. Just dip them and enjoy them. They're so delicious that you can have them all by itself. So let's get started with today's video and our ingredients. Now here I have about 250 grams or 1 3/4 cup of maida or all-purpose flour, 25 grams or an entire packet of dry yeast, 1 cup of warm water. This is 100 grams or 1/4 cup of udit dal flour, 1 egg, some salt to taste. We have about half a cup of sugar. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just about half a teaspoon of sugar to the warm water. We're going to stir it in very well till all of the sugar dissolves in this water. Now your water has to be warm. It doesn't have to be hot. It doesn't have to be cold. It has to be just warm, enough that you can dip your fingers in. Now we're going to add this entire packet or 25 grams of yeast, give it a light stir, and we're just going to keep it aside till it doubles in its size. Now I'm going to mix both the flours together, that is the maida and the udit flour, and I'm going to add a little bit of salt, and we're going to give everything a nice good mix. Now I've also taken about half a cup of warm milk, and I'm going to add the sugar, which is half a cup of sugar to it, and I'm going to stir it in well. Now you can adjust the amount of sugar according to how sweet you like your fugues. If you don't want them to be sweet at all, then just skip the sugar part, adding the sugar to the milk. Now you can see that the yeast has nicely doubled in volume. Now I'm going to beat up the egg and add it to the flour mixture. Next, we're going to add a little at a time of this yeast, and we're going to mix everything well. Now, in place of milk, you can also use coconut milk. It does give a lovely taste, but I'm using regular milk. Now we're going to add the milk to a little at a time and keep folding it in or stirring it in, and we need to get a thick but smooth batter. So you might have to adjust the quantity of milk according to you might have to add a little bit more or a little bit less, but you have to get a nice thick yet a smooth kind of mixture. Now we have to mix this mixture very well till it becomes nice and smooth. This is very important for the fugues to become nice and light and airy. So stir it for a while, for about 2 to 3 minutes at least. It doesn't have to be watery. We don't want a batter consistency, but we don't want a very dry and sticky consistency. When you're moving your spatula around, you should be easily able to move the spatula. It should not be very, very thick. And now we're just going to cover up this mixture and let it sit aside for about 1 or maybe 1.5 hours to maximum 2 hours. Don't keep your mixture for more than that. And we're just going to let this double in size. Now my mixture took exactly 1 hour to nicely rise up and double in size. So now after waiting for 1 hour, you can see that it has nicely doubled up in size and it looks like this. It all depends upon the yeast, so your mixture should look like this. And now when you dip a spoon inside it, you should be easily able to lift it up. Now I've taken some oil for deep frying. I've taken some kitchen napkins for draining the excess oil, a slotted spoon, and also some water to dip my fingers in. Now we're going to test whether the mixture is ready. Also keep a kitchen cloth ready in your hand because you need to wipe your fingers every time. We're going to drop a little bit of this batter, and if the the ball just rises up immediately, that means your oil is all ready to deep fry. Now remember always to fry on a low to medium flame. Never let your oil be smoking hot. Never use a full flame when you're deep frying. It should always be low to medium. Otherwise, what will happen? Only the outside of the fugias will get cooked and your inside of the fugias will be raw. So now our oil is ready. Now the technique is very simple, friends. These fugias are also called balloon bread. You'll come to know in a little while when you see the technique. Now I'm going to dip. Now I'm a right-handed person, so I'm going to dip my right hand in some water, and with the left hand I'm just going to lift the dough, and between my thumb and forefinger I'm going to squeeze that out, and I'm going to dip it, put it directly into the oil. Now every time remember to dip your fingers, squeeze out a small little ball, drop it into the oil and wipe your fingers. Now these fugias get fried immediately, so you have to stir them around. You can take the help of your family members or friends to just stir the fugias around. Now we want to fry them till they're nice and light golden brown. We don't want a very dark color. Now as you keep doing it, you will get the hang of it. Believe it or not, this is my first ever time of making fugias, and I had got so many requests during Christmas time to make fugias that I decided I am going to give it a try. I was scared, so I said a small prayer before starting off, and by God's grace, my fugias turned out delicious. My family just loved it. I had made some lovely chicken curry and we enjoyed the fugias with them. Now I'm sure I'm going to get some questions as to how I made the udid dal. So just wait till the end of the video. I will leave a link as to how I made my udid dal flour. Now I'm just going to show you how you need to fry them. You just need to move them around in the oil. Don't overcrowd your pan. Use a large pan if possible. And some of them might get ready earlier. Some of them might take some time. So as you find that they're nicely, evenly turned to a light golden brown, just take them and put them on your kitchen napkin. Yes, I was telling you about how to make the udid dal flour. Now you can try and get it in a supermarket, whether it's available. Some stores do have it. Otherwise, all you have to do is just take a regular udid dal and grind it in a dry mixer. Now you can also wash it, dry it in the sun and then dry it. But here I'm just using regular udid flour. I've used the organic type which is available, and I just ground it in my mixer pot. Now the udid dal also helps to make these fugias really nice and light and fluffy along with the yeast. And that's my last batch. Now with these quantities of measurements that I used, I got exactly 50 fugias. I wanted to start off with a very small quantity. I didn't want to make a lot of it because we're just 4 of us, so I didn't want to waste anything. So I just made it out of this much quantity, that is quarter kilo of maida, and I got 50 small lovely fugias. So depending on how many you want to make, you can just double the quantity if you want to make 100 or whatever, just do the math. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I enjoyed making it, and I'm sure this is not going to be the last time I make fugias. I'm going to be making it a lot of times because I found it really easy. Many people are very scared about making it. Guys, don't be scared. Give it a try. Like I said, start with a small quantity, follow the instructions to the T, and you're going to be delighted with the end result. And here you can see I've got all my fugias. There aren't 50 right now because many of them went in my and my family's tummy. But you look at them, they're so light and so airy. I mean, I can just eat them all by themselves. They're so delicious. Now adjust the sugar, as per your liking. Some people like very sweet fugias. Some people like, just regular. So here I've taken 1 cup of raw rice and washed it really well under water, and then I'm going to soak this rice overnight for at least 12 hours. This is very important that you soak the rice. Now after 12 hours, we are going to drain all the water from the rice, and then I'm going to put this into my mixer or blender pot. Now to that, I'm going to be adding 1 cup of freshly grated coconut, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and salt to taste. I'm also going to add first I'm going to mix everything really well, and I'm going to add 1/4 cup of water and grind this to a very thick paste. It should not be very runny, but a real thick paste, just like an idli paste. This is the consistency we're looking for. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to take 1/4 cup of lukewarm water, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of sugar to it and mix the sugar in really well into this lukewarm water. The water should not be hot, but lukewarm. To that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of dry active yeast, and I'm going to just leave it without stirring it for about 15 minutes till it doubles in size. Now once the yeast doubles in size, it looks like this. We're just going to add it to our rice paste. We're going to mix it in really well, and then we are going to set this mixture aside for another 8 to 10 hours to ferment. So that's very important that it ferments. Now, once that is done, we're going to prepare our steamer, and we're also going to brush these molds that we have. They're just regular vatis. You get actual sanna molds, but I'm just using regular vatis that I have at home. And I'm going to fill these vatis halfway only. Prepare the steamer with enough water in it, and let the water start to boil. And then I'm going to place these in the steamer, and I'm going to steam them on a very high flame for at least 15 minutes. Now after 15 minutes, let the steamer cool to room temperature, and then take a knife and just run it through the sanna, and it has to come out clean. And then just taking a sharp knife, run it around the sanna like this, and then just demold it, and you'll get these beautiful soft sannas which you can enjoy with chicken chakuti, with sorpotel, or you can just eat them all by themselves. So do give this a try, guys. So let's start with today's lovely whole wheat bread. Now here I've taken about 1 cup of warm milk, 1.5 tablespoon of dry active yeast, 1.5 tablespoon of regular sugar, and 3 cups of whole wheat flour, about 1.5 tablespoon of oil, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 cup of water. This is regular water. Now first I'm going to add the sugar to the warm milk. Now your milk should not be too hot, it should not be at room temperature, it should not be cold, it should be warm enough that you can just dip your finger in it. So it should not be hot at all, otherwise it will kill the yeast. So first we're going to add the sugar, and then we're going to add this dry active yeast. And we're going to keep this aside for about 10 to 15 minutes, and you will see that after 10 to 15 minutes the yeast mixture has doubled in size. Now we're going to transfer the yeast mixture to a large mixing bowl. To that we're going to add the flour, the salt and the oil. We're going to mix everything well with our spoon or spatula, and then we're going to add a little of the water, that 1/4 cup that we had taken, and we're going to knead this to a soft and sticky dough. Don't worry about the dough if it's sticky. We're just going to dust our surface with some whole wheat flour, and then we're going to knead this dough for a whole 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, we're going to follow this fold and tuck method for another 2 to 3 minutes. So you're going to roll it, fold it, and then tuck it. This is very important for this recipe. This will make your dough very, very smooth and very, very elastic and very, very easy to work with. Now if you follow all the steps that I tell you in this recipe, you just can't go wrong with this whole wheat bread. Now I've just greased my bowl, the same mixing bowl that I had mixed everything in, with some oil. I'm going to place this dough, cover it, and I'm going to set it aside for about 3 to 4 hours. After 3 to 4 hours, you will see that the dough has nicely risen. You're going to punch the dough down, and then again you're going to follow this fold method. Now you're not going to tuck it, you're just going to fold it into a cylinder form. So you're going to knead the dough and then fold it into the cylinder form. Now I'm just going to take a greased tin, and I'm just going to grease it with some oil. You can use olive oil, you can use regular oil. And then I'm going to place my dough into this, and then I'm going to cover and again keep it aside for 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, you will see that it has nicely risen. Now we're just going to take about a teaspoon or 2 of milk, and we're going to brush this. Now I'm going to put this into my preheated oven and bake it for 30 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. Let the bread come to complete room temperature. But before that, when it's warm only, just apply some butter for that lovely glaze. And then let it come to room temperature completely before you demold it. And once you demold it, you'll see that it's so soft and spongy, and it has baked so well. And now you can just cut it up into slices. When it comes to room temperature, it's easier to cut also. Otherwise, it will just crumble when it's very hot. Also, try to use a serrated knife or a bread knife like this to cut even slices. You can see that the bread has really baked well. It's nice and light and porous. And I like to just put some butter and jam on it and enjoy it with a lovely cup of tea or coffee. So do try out this recipe, guys, and let me know in the comment section how you liked it. With not a single drop of oil used in this recipe. So I've taken exactly 1 cup of rice in a bowl, and I'm going to wash this rice thrice under running water. I'm just showing it to you. So squeeze out all, squeeze the rice under the water, and first it will come very murky like this. And as you continue doing it, the water will become more clearer. And after you've washed it nicely thrice under water, you're just going to cover and set it aside for 8 hours. You can keep it overnight too, but 8 hours would be sufficient. So after 8 hours, I've drained out all the water from the rice. Now besides that, we're going to use 1 cup of freshly grated coconut. Try to use, fresh coconut. The taste is really better. 2 tablespoons of sugar, or you can adjust it according to your sweetness, and salt to taste. Now here I've got a large mixer jar, and I'm just going to transfer the rice, the coconut, the sugar and the salt to my mixer jar. Now pore is mostly made, for breakfast. You can have it all by itself, or you can have it with a nice coconut chutney. I leave a link to my coconut chutney recipe down. Or you can even have it with gravies like sorpatel, vindaru, chicken curry, shakuti. It's like a kind of a dosa or a neer dosa, and it's very versatile. You can have it with anything. Even all by itself, it's so nice and delicious. And now I'm just going to add a little water at a time. Totally I've used about half cup of water, and we want to get this typical runny kind of a batter, very similar to a neer dosa batter, a little thinner than a regular dosa batter. Now I've kept my iron pan heating on a low to medium flame for at least 10 to 15 minutes. This is very important that your pan is nice and heated up. And then you're just going to pour about 2 ladlefuls. Now you're not going to spread it out too much like a dosa, just a little bit so you get that nice round shape. Don't spread it out too much. And then you're just going to cover it and keep it on a medium flame for about half a minute, and you'll see that you tend to get these little bit of pores and bubbles all over. And then with your spatula, very very gently just loosen up the sides. You have to be extremely gentle, otherwise it will break. But if your pan is nice and heavy, nice and hot rather, it loosens up very very easily. Now, if you want to know about this pan, you can check it out in my Amazon store. It's in my cooking section, so you can get your hands on this. I use it for my dosas, for my gavans, for everything, and it comes out really amazing. Now you're going to cook the other side also for about half a minute. And then you're just going to transfer this to your serving plate. And in this way, you can make all the dosas. The pores. And with this 1 cup of rice, I got exactly 8 pores. And these are medium size. I haven't made them very small, or I haven't made them very large. I remember my mom used to make this for us, for breakfast. And just these with a cup of tea is a nice filling breakfast. Although I personally like it with a little bit of coconut chutney at the side. So the trick is to have a nice heavy bottomed iron pan like this, and to really heat it up well, and you're all set. So I hope you do give this Goan pores recipe a try. Let me know in the comments section how you like this recipe. Go and check out all my other recipes, which I'll leave the link to all of them in the description box below, as well as the comment section below. So you can go and click on them and just go directly to the recipe you're looking for. So here they are. They're so light and so nice, and not a single drop of oil used in this recipe. So it's so healthy too. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video sooner than you think. This is Akshata signing off. Take care, guys. Be kind and loving to one another. Bye. Friends, I hope you liked today's recipe as well as today's video, and if you would like to see more videos like this, then don't forget to leave this video a big thumbs up. Also, by clicking the thumbs up icon. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and become a part of Akshata's recipes. Once you have subscribed, there is a small little bell icon that will pop up, so just click on that. That way, whenever I put up a new recipe or a new video, you get a message for the same. So on that note, I'll say bye, and I'll catch you in my next video sooner than you think. This is Akshata saying bye. Take care, stay healthy, stay fit, be kind and loving to one another. So till we meet again, bye.